So now in this video we are going to break down how Starbucks has a premium pricing strategy and you still pay for it every single year. Yes, this is one of the strategies that most of the salespeople don't focus on. As soon as you start giving something to your salespeople that is not comfortable for them to sell, they end up messing up the whole thing, and as a result, the result that comes out of all of these activities is like, ma'am or sir, the product doesn't sell. Now, when you know that your sales team is not comfortable selling premium pricing products, it's the right time when you start training them on the different psychologies that the client might have or even your salesperson might have before selling premium products. So what you need to figure out is what is the thought process that allows a person to take premium pricing, and also the thought process of the salesperson who is ready to sell the product at the premium pricing. Because first of all, what you need to do is, you as a salesperson for a particular product or service need to believe in the effectiveness of the product and service. Now the problem starts occurring when the product or the service is not as effective and maybe you are overpricing that product or service. If that's the case, go back to zero, refine your product or service and then attach a price tag to it. But on the other hand, if you feel that the pricing is justifiable with the kind of service that you are offering, then there's a problem with your understanding of how you can sell premium products easily in your business. Let's just dive deep into it and understand what is it that causes people to pay more. So here we are taking an example of Starbucks. Starbucks is a very well-known brand, right? Now, we know that outside coffee in India is available at 30 rupees, but still we end up going to Starbucks and paying around 300 to 600 bucks only for a cup of coffee. Now that's not just a matter of cup of coffee anymore, because Starbucks doesn't sell you coffee, it sells you experience, and that's what every premium brand does. Whether it be Apple, Starbucks or any other premium brand that sells you premium things, that's just because they sell you that experience or that unforgettable experience of being a part of their product or service. And the same thing Starbucks does to you when you become a customer of theirs. What happens when you enter inside a Starbucks cafe? You'll start seeing the ambience. You'll start getting attracted to the ambience that the particular cafe has. You'll start getting attracted to the ambience of the cafe, the first thing. The second thing that you'll start getting attracted is to the smell, the aroma. So what you're actually trying to escalate is every sense of your body, the 5 senses. As soon as you go in, you sit, you feel relaxed because the place is so placid, so cool that you almost forget every mess that you have been going throughout your day. And that's the reason why people love to go in cafes and have their coffee rather than having it at a stand near the bus stop. Right? So that gives you the peace, the mental peace that you want. The body cools down, the other senses like eyes, nose, everything starts adapting to the atmosphere and the environment, and you start loving that environment. You start loving the experience that you are getting, and you end up paying for that experience, right? The second thing that Starbucks does well was quality. Equal quality or consistent quality in every cup that it creates. Equal or consistent quality in every cup of coffee that it creates enables its customer to go and repeat that experience whenever they want to. Because once you have gained that experience, that level always gets more and more attractive. You feel attractive to that particular experience more and more. You want to go more and more. You start loving that vibe again and again, right? And that's how they start getting repeat customers. Again, adding a small thing like getting customized coffee cups or your names specifically written wrong by the Starbucks people is just done intentionally so that you click a picture and share it over your social media or share it to your friends, so that even they remember the next time that they have to have a coffee, they need to go to Starbucks. Well, honestly, today there are many better cafe chains than Starbucks also today, but we were taking example of Starbucks because they have been doing it consistently from n number of years in Indian markets. So we definitely need to learn from these brands of how they are able to sell premium. The first thing lies psychology, the second thing lies customer experience. The third thing lies in customization, because your customers really love customization. So if you're having these 2-3 pointers, your salespeople can use these 3 pointers while doing the sales conversations. You remember the last videos when we were talking about your sales objections or your negotiations on price points? This pricing feature or this pricing psychology actually helps your salesperson to negotiate better. Now, what does this pricing psychology has a connection with negotiation? Because anytime you try to negotiate over prices, if you are a newbie, you will end up going down to the bottom level where your competitors are and end up closing the deal and feel happy about it. But if you are trying to become a seasoned entrepreneur, if you are someone who has been doing business for more than 3 to 4 years, now you know that I am no one to settle down for low prices, which means my work quality has increased. I have started offering more kind of services. I have started giving depth to the services that I offer. So I deserve more. And when your business or your work deserves more, it's the right time for you to highlight these premium features, because then you can sell these premium features for premium money. So anytime your team or you as a salesperson don't feel comfortable about selling premium, highlight the features or the things that you have in hand. Highlight how you make your clients feel. Highlight what is it for the clients to come and take the solution for you. What is the guarantee that you can give them? Highlight the customizations that you can do for them, because this is something that will actually start attracting clients, because most probably other people at the same rate might not be offering customizations to your clients. So let's understand this one particular thing right now, that if I have to sell premium, I have to think premium. I have to think how my customers wants to respond and not just to react to the pricing. The pricing proposals, whenever sent to any of the customers, need to be sent in such a manner that they don't react to the proposal, but they think about it and then they make a decision, that is, they respond to the proposal. Now, in order to help you better navigate through objection handling or negotiation matters, here is a simple value stack framework that will help you add more value to the business. Because whenever we say the premium pricing or the higher price ends in a business is all about adding experiences and values, sometimes entrepreneurs are really confused what should be the segments in which I should add the value or the experience. So this value stack bar will help you to understand what are the elements that you can add to your services. Let's go for it. So here we have a value stack pyramid that enables you to add value to the premium pricing product or service that you are trying to create. The first thing is the core transformation that we are going to talk about, right? So every time you start pitching to your client for a premium pricing, your pitch should be like, hey, this is something that will start changing when you start working with us. Okay. Now the problem with sales conversations, specifically when it comes to pitching a premium price, is that people end up listing down the features alongside a brochure or a proposal, finish up the total pricing and send them, right? The maximum that you do is the tiered pricing framework, where you tell them these features are available for this pricing. But then when it comes to pitching via conversations, this is not the case, because these are your brochures or your proposals or your 3-tier system is something that you can write and give it to someone post the conversation. But before that, a proper sales conversation is the need of the hour for every salesperson. So please understand this. The first thing that you are going to talk about is the core transformation that your product or your service will bring about once they come in or on board as your client. The second thing that you need to talk about is the implementation process. Now this could be unique with your business, because your implementations could be time bound, it could be process bound, and it could be result oriented. Plus, you can also talk about the support that you're going to offer to your client while the implementation plan is brought into picture. So these things, if you start speaking about whenever you are taking a sales conversation, these things create a major impact in the way the client perceives your service. Because जैसे ही आप ये बोलते हो कि मैं ये सर्विस दे सकता हूँ in 90 days या in 30 days, you will start seeing this transformation happening by implementing this particular process. The client gets a pathway of how many days the implementation process will take, what will be the implementation process, and what will be the result that the client can expect from the service that you are giving. The third thing, and what the Indian market really loves, is adding bonuses. Once you start adding bonuses to your offers, people start loving it. I'll tell you why. Well, again, this has something to play with the human psychology. When you start settling to achieve something at a certain price point or to achieve something against a specific result, your brain gets a foundation. Now, the bonus level adds a layer to that foundation that the client has not expected before, because you had never talked about this bonus. So this helps the client to get much more than the client has expected. And this way, this surprise elements add trust in terms of relationship between you and the client, because now the client knows that you totally want to do what you are supposed to do and you are totally committed to doing the work for the client. The fourth level of this value stack pyramid is giving them exclusive access. Now, people today have communities for their clients where all of their clients can come together, they can talk about the business challenges or the things that they are doing. There could be small community meetups also. Some companies do keep it. Specifically, if you are a IT company or a service company, you normally end up keeping meetups for your clients where your clients come in, they meet, they enjoy together, they talk about the product or the service, and they feel good about being a part of a networking circle. But then on the same hand, exclusive access doesn't only means access to a community or to a network. It also means access to memberships. It also means access to subscriptions. It also means access to exclusive benefits that you don't give to other customers. So whenever you have your premium stack of customers, you actually know what is the excessive value that you're going to add by giving this exclusive access to the people. It could be meeting the CEO twice, right? Or it could be taking a judgment on the product or service based on the voting system, right? It could be anything that can allow your product or service to be better, one, or it could be anything that allows to get the client through a better experience that they really want. So this fourth level is an exclusive level, and it comes only to customers again who are taking your premium offers. Now let's get to the fifth level. That's the most important and the most critical level, because most of the people finish their sales process or value addition process here. They hesitate to add guarantee to the process. And if you're someone who's hesitant to add guarantee to the process, then let me tell you, you're not comfortable selling your product or service. And this is a bitter truth. Because if you don't know how to give guarantee on the work that you are doing, how far would someone else trust that you will be enabling that service in the time span or with the benefits that you have been talking about? Once you know and you give a basic foundational guarantee to your client may actually start trusting you more, because they know whatsoever happens, at least I'm getting this right kind of foundation that this guy is talking about, right? Now, the problem with value stack is we make it on paper, right? We put it on proposals, we put it on brochures, we even love to put these things on our website. But when it comes to sales meetings or the closure meetings, we tend to ignore these. Instead, what we start doing is, we start doing listing down the features of our services. For example, you may say, hey, we have a community of 500 entrepreneurs where you can come and join. Let me tell you, no one is actually interested to join a community until and unless it is beneficial to them. It's not about the community, it's about the experience. You are going to talk about what happens inside that community during the sales calls. So try and understand, when you are conversing, when you are adding value, the value stack preposition should be a part of your sales process and not just to be there on papers or on product framing or service framing papers. Because that time when you are structuring out your products and services, any which ways you are adding a lot of value to them. But then how you need to convey this value to the customer is the most important thing, because if your salesperson or if you are not able to convey this value, you will land up in a greater mess. So please understand this. Whenever your salesperson or you is sitting for the sales conversation, track down this value system by speaking about this value system of what you build in. Let me give you an example. For example, I have a sales mechanism or a sales strategy where people come in, okay, they sit on the sales call, but then they don't know what we are going to offer till the very end. The reason being, we don't put the pricing first, we only put the process first. That is, whenever someone comes and talks to us on our sales conversation table, we know exactly what we are putting down to them. We are putting down to them the experiences that they will be having through. We are putting down to them through the bonus points that they will be getting or the value addition that they will be getting alongside the core transformation. So the conversation has to be rooted in same manner from level 1 to level 5. Now, in order to help you out with the closing conversations, in the workbook, we have given you 3 typical examples of how you can use the value stack framework and start closing deals after handling objections and negotiations. And believe me, this value stack pyramid actually helps you to manage negotiations as well. All of these examples are available as scripts to you in your workbook. The only thing that you have to do right now is study the conversations given in the workbook that allows you to understand how you will be actually taking up these conversations in the real world. That's for now. I'll see you in the next video where we'll be talking about setting up the sales systems to dominate sales in your business.